Good morning, folks. It's your girl Lily Mae, and this morning's message is pretty simple. It's Turn Up Tuesday. I'm gonna call it Turn Up Tuesday, but a couple of different messages this morning, so it'll probably be a couple of different videos, and I will merge them together and post them on my brand page on Facebook. But the first message is: believe none of what you hear, believe all of what you see. Believe none of what you hear, believe all of what you see, because sometimes our hearing is impaired by our heart, by our mind. And so with that being stated, you need to make sure that your eyes are wide open at all times. So I caution you, believe none of what you hear, believe all of what you see. And I'll get into that a little bit more, because some people will probably say, no, believe some of what you see. No, believe all of what you see. Now, true colors. True colors are primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. And you can see true colors in the rainbow very, very clear, no matter how far the rainbow is in the sky. However, when you get close up on the rainbow, it's even more vivid. Your secondary colors are the ones you got to be careful with, because depending on how much red you mix with blue, or how much blue you mix with yellow, or how much red you mix with yellow, it's going to distort. It's going to distort the color that you actually see. So the orange that you see may appear to be a little bit more red. The green that you see may appear to be a little bit more blue than yellow. And the purple that you see may appear to be a little bit more blue than red. Now, I know you're probably wondering, Lily Mae, what do you mean by true colors or primary colors? Because true colors will always show. No matter how much you mix them, no matter how much you try to tone them down, true colors always come through. And so sometimes that might look it might be a little bright. Sometimes it may be a little dull. But the reality is that pick your primary colors. Make sure that you're aware of your primary colors. Make sure that your primary colors are always able to be detected. And in order for you to do that, sometimes you got to put your shades on and block the sun. I'm just saying. As I always tell you, I can't tell you anything that I haven't dealt with or been through myself. So the final thought for me is protect yourself. Protect yourself at all costs. The reality is that we live in a world where snakes not only crawl around our feet, but they also rise to attack. They rise to attack. And when they rise to attack, if you are not cautious, you might get struck. Make sure that in everything, you put down your snake away, but also cut the weeds down, because sometimes the weeds allow the snake to hide themselves. And unless you can see in between the weeds, you just might get struck. And finally, everybody needs accountability partners. Luckily, I have quite a few that give it to me straight, whether I like it or not, and I appreciate them. But I want to say this: consult with your accountability partners at all times. Keep them in the loop of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, there comes a time when we are open vessels and we are easily manipulated, sometimes by things that look good, sound good, and feel good to us. And I'm not even talking about in a worldly sense. What I'm learning finally, do not be deceived. You may think that you're getting away. You may think that people do not see that you're using the word of God to get over on people. But one thing that I'm learning is that although you might get over once, you might even get over twice. And you know what? Those of you that are lucky may get over the third time. But what I have to learn is that it's not my job to detect who you really are, because I see your outside. I can't really see your inside, but God knows your inside. And just like he knows your inside, he knows my inside. And he's not gonna let the enemy attack me. He's not gonna let the enemy devour me. He's not gonna let the enemy win. And the reality is, manipulation is a learned behavior. Manipulation isn't something that you just kind of pick up one day. Manipulation is taught. Manipulation is driven. Manipulation is embedded and instilled. And the reality is that I've been cautioned, I've been warned about this whole Jezebel spirit, and for some reason, I'm thinking it's coming in an alternative, but it's not. It's coming in its true form. And the reality is that because my vision is distorted, I'm unable to really see it. But that's where those shades come in, and that's where those walking canes come in, and that's where those little motorized scooters come in. And those are your modifications. And I thank God that I have Lil's earthly angels, and you guys know who you are. I thank God that I have those individuals who provide those modifications, who are able to see what I can't see, who are able to jump in the midst and pull me out of the fire. Because if I didn't have those, I would have been devoured a long time ago. Don't think because I'm still moving along that I'm not watching and that I'm not cautious. Because one thing about it, even Jesus Christ himself walked amongst his enemies. In conclusion, Louis Farrakhan said this, and one thing about it, I ain't saying that's my man, but this makes sense. You have to be careful of the environments that you put yourself in. Because no matter what in you is good, if you're in the wrong environment, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. No matter what inside of you is good, you never know what is going to happen to you in the wrong environment. Trust me when I say I've been there time and time again, and I'm still learning. See, one thing about this journey, you don't arrive overnight. No matter how perfect you may think you are, you don't arrive overnight. And being nice nasty doesn't get you anywhere. It might get you an early grave, and I don't mean an earthly grave. Have a great day.